enjoying it too. I was. I'm going to say and echo what Rob has said. And you know what's funny about it too, guys? Because Rob obviously didn't work Asia League last year. I basically already made the exact same statement last year about South Asia and joining the server and being prompt and being on time and being professional. So I need to say it again. Guys, there's more than just you guys in the server. There is admins, there is casters, there is tournament operators, there is so many people. Just do the one thing you need to do and be in the server, please. Hasib Warriors have finally made their way in. We can get the final game of the night underway. Bleeder Esports are going to be on the defense first. What's interesting about the map choice, guys, I was having a very quick look at it earlier where the map veto was obviously taking place. Border has actually not been a good map at all for Hasib Warriors. They banned it out in the qualifiers. Then they eventually had it selected against them as it was a best of 3, was selected pretty early, and they lost that map to Knock Knock. Ultimately ended up winning that particular series, but it has been a map in which, yeah, as James pointed out earlier, obviously they have not been winning. So I'm a little surprised that they've allowed this through. Bleed will be very content with this. And I would imagine with the nature of this map as well, Bleed, quite honestly, should be winning this like 7-1, 7-2 territory. That's just simply based on the mechanics in which Bleed are able to employ. They've got the experience, and they should very well be able to out-frag a team that has, well, clearly struggled on this particular map.
Now, I kid you not, this could be the moment where the gap between the end of the last game and the conclusion of this one, or the gap between, sorry, the conclusion of the last game and the beginning of this one, so the break between the games, is actually longer than the game itself. I am expecting Bleed to absolutely wipe the floor in this game. This should be 7-0 in an ideal world.
10 seconds left.
They speedrun it, this game could be over before the duration break. I would not be surprised if it's a 30-minute game. It will beat that. So let's see what Bleed can bring. I'm sure they'll be a little bit tilted. They've had to wait so long to get into this game, and they will want it over in a jiffy. Unfortunately, I suppose in some respects, the initiative has to be shown here by Hasib Warriors on attack, so that may slow down the pacing a little bit. But expecting Bleed to aggress on the fringe of this map and prevent anybody from stepping foot inside the building.
Mine activated.
Does there come pressure, though, if you Bleed Esports? Like, I mean, quite literally, the entire R6 community is expecting, and I say probably 100%, even the bravest of all South Asia fans would say Bleed are the team that should be winning this game. With that comes a level of, well, apprehension in terms of your performance. Running around with your iron sights probably says it all. Reap's holding as well on the tuber out at that Montang. I think these guys are more than good when it comes to their mental fortitude, although Holven gets obviously outdone. Top waiting. Beat up from down below. Holven was far too concerned about the Montang push over towards top of his stairs and eventually loses his life. Not a bad start for Hasib Warriors. Bleed, over the last 6 or so months, are a team that just don't really get mentally chalked. Maybe the first iteration of this roster, stage 1 last year, sure, but Doctor could kill onto Mentalist. Well, this is the dream start for Hasib Warriors. Reef's still very much waiting for that top east stairs push. It has not come through outside the Montang, which eventually has now got control of that area. Stand still, Reefs. He's trying to give you a bit of a helping hand. Drone can't get shot out, and so far this is just so chaotic. Logic bombs obviously ringing around the map, and a lovely little peek out from Asfi. Might just bring the round back into control. But trades continue elsewhere. As Reefs are able to win, obviously, top medal. Hasib got one elsewhere. 3 versus 2 now, with over a minute remaining, and still needing to deal with the Montang.
Yeah, it's been a very, very fluid round for both teams at the moment, but Bleed on the back foot facing the Monty. Maybe they can try and isolate other picks though. Hasib taken low. Reap's team are, so one more shot will drop the Flores, but unfortunately he is slain. So good swing, and now turning 1v3.
This is actually a really good start from Hasib Warriors. Bleed on the defense, so pushed out, so aggressive, so far off sight. Trying to get into the face of Hasib Warriors, and they've lost every single engagement. Turd, though, doesn't lose his. Montang dealt with. But the plank going down from Denny. Flashes. Both are quite low. This is actually extremely winnable for Turdster, even with still the plant having just gone down. Can he find a way to style on them? Jiggle Peak still on the diffuser. So he's got information. Flash knows he's close then, top metal. should have information as to the whereabouts now of both players and what he needs to do. But a little push in might catch him off guard. More tag onto Dinny. Still expecting that player maybe to be close left. You can see the way he's peeking it. And Hasib, once Peace was able to get into a new position, catching Turd off guard. Dream start for Hasib Warriors.
It doesn't really get much better than that. Good early pressure in the round. Able to pick away at the bleed defense initially. And then I think they did a really good job playing around the Monty late. Punishing Reaps was a really, really good peak, as he was obviously eager to try and get that Monty on an island. Narrative then flipped quite quickly, 1v3, and the Monty just feeding that information to the rest of the attack, which pivoted to the easiest point of entry with the least resistance, with that last defender so deep towards Archives. So, good work from Hasib. And they've silenced me. Quite boldly predict a 7-0. I think I may have also said a 7-1. That's still a possibility, but nonetheless, good start for Hasib.
Yeah, I mean, great start. It's a difficult site to win as well on Border. Obviously, the way in which Bleed did actually play it, to me, actually was quite disrespectful. Largely offside. Super aggressive hold towards that poppy stairs. They got sucked into that Montang, I felt like. As soon as they saw the Monty push, I would imagine anticipated a pretty one-dimensional kind of attack from Hasib. Okay, it's a Montang. Top east stairs. Huge priority. Redux makes an entry in passport, gets killed through towards top laning. Something that probably caught Bleed off guard, and then with that, it snowballed. Now, it is group stage. These are essentially glorified seeding matches for the most part. But a win for Hasib Warriors, even at this portion of the tournament, would be such a monumental one. Even if it doesn't necessarily result in you going to a major or putting yourself forward into the playoffs, this would still be a massive statement for the South Asia region. Hasib Warriors are the top team from the region for a reason, and they will be more than capable of backing themselves in to be able to get the job done in this particular stage. Hovan does get that trade onto Hasib once Peace, who's had a great game so far up to 3 kills, but he will have to sit this one out. No floor is available now for the remainder of this round, 4 versus 4. I just wonder, as the game progresses, Bleed might just start to be taking this Hasib Warriors team quite seriously. Close left, barricade breakdown. Underway, Taha will get the shield back up though on the Montang. Shots coming out, yellow ping as Asfi wants to get once again aggressive here, but the Montang will make it difficult.
Yeah, they got to deal with the Monty. I mean, the entire
what is Rich doing?
I mean, the entire composition with the trap heavy is to try and counter the Monty. And Mentalist is, yeah, obviously dead now, so with that Legion on board makes Alpha Yorks is available! They combine and Asfi good for 2. Really, really good combination there for Bleed. The Hasib though have half the round to pick themselves back up.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is perfect for Hasib Warriors. You're playing on Border, you want these scrappy fights. Bleed are giving it to you. They're not sitting sight. That's fine. We'll happily take these fights, says Hasib Warriors. Edox and Doctor now in a 2 versus 2 against Turd and Asfi. Asfi's done well to at least bring this round back. Bloodstone's going to work though, and information that can now be relayed to the remainder of the team that can sit these particular cameras that do get hacked. 60 seconds left. Plenty of time for Zedox and Doctor. I'll tell you what, you win this round. Could be some very early alarm bells ringing for Bleed. Rotate successful for Doctor to go and grab this kit. Outside on the exterior balcony. A little bit of information heard, I believe, maybe turned down below. Obviously, sight elsewhere though, and now they start to head there. Zedox has actually dropped into bathroom. Has been watched though on the bulletproof camera, and now 30 seconds remaining. It's all about the retake potentially. Nicely done from Asfi, close right. Zedox aware of this. Kit on the floor momentarily, picked back up. He taps it once just to see if anyone wants to peek it out. Still has got just under 20 seconds. Goes again, a second time. Still no response though. Turd and Asfi know full well they don't need to do anything. Although headshot from Zedox is clean. Now this time you probably have to stick it, and Turd is aware of that. Makes the big run through lobby, but he goes the wrong way, and suddenly the kit is now on the floor. Yellow ping information as well. The clutch drones and the effectiveness of it, and Zedox to play off of those yellow pings. Hasib Warriors coming out swinging here late into the night. A 2-0 start on Border, and Bleed, as Rob was alluding to on the desk, are bleeding right now. What is happening?
I mean, there's a couple of issues at the moment. The Monty is causing a lot of problems here for Bleed Esports, and despite them bringing the, ideal composition to deal with that, the players that are key encountering him, at least early on, we're off the board. You can see at this point, especially with Mentalist down. This here was a really good combination though, right? So the Oryx to bump into the Monty, knock him down. Astrid then good target prioritization to get the first on balcony, then the second. The damage really had already been done, and there was a lot of that space that forfeited towards side, which gave the remaining attackers the ability to make something work. Zedox in the 1 versus 2, statistically not the best of positions, and Bleed played a discipline. They didn't get baited by the plant fake out from Zedox, but nonetheless there was information available for his Hasib warriors, and Zedox converted it nicely. So maybe this is going to be more of a game than we anticipate.
I mean,
10 seconds.
would I have predicted Hasib to win this game? No.
5 seconds left.
Then you're just downright insane. But you've got to give this team the respect they deserve in the same way that we did for Knock Knock. These are teams that have been around the mix, dominating in South Asia, that have then gone to the Asia playoffs time and time again. Now, have they been able to get over that hurdle? No, clearly not. But with that, you gain experience. And you can clearly see this is a Hasib Warriors team that's just backing themselves in. They've got that experience. They've played against these teams before. This is not new ground that is being broken. 2-0 start. Now, Bleed, you've got to give them that full-blown respect. You've been to majors, you've been to 6 invitationals, and you've done well at those events. Now bring all of that experience back and say, hey, we might need to lean on that to take these guys down after
So Reeves then inside of office, likely to play a first contact position. And the Monty likely to be the one to contest for the side of Hasib. So let's see how Bleed respond this time around. Logic Bomb to confirm the position. Solos has been pinged out. Lines of sight they're being established here from Bleed as the impact comes through. Reaps are allowed to fall back. Nobody on that window in play as Turd tries to find one and almost runs to his death. You can see the chaotic nature of the defense at the moment for Bleed does look a little bit disorganized. Again, naturally here on Border, it is difficult to find safe positions to play, but at the moment they are presenting opportunities for the Hasib Warriors to take advantage of it.
You know what I like so far as well? It's not an over-reliance on this Montang. Is it a factor? Yes. Are they playing off of it exclusively? No. It's kind of like almost a solo Montang a lot of the time here from Taha in the first couple of rounds, and so Bleed are probably a little confused. We saw that with the Top East hold, where they were kind of like primarily focused on what that Montang was doing, but no one was really playing behind it anyway. And then they ended up getting kind of picked apart elsewhere because everyone else was kind of moving in on the entries around the map, which is really what you want to do on a map like Border. I mean, the Hasib are actually playing this really well. And I'm quite surprised because of the, again, the historic nature of it. I mean, Dev mentioned on the desk, it's been a losing streak map for them. I mean, they lost it to Knock Knock in the qualifiers. Oh, lovely shot from Hasib once piece. Yeah, Mentalist 0-3. No impact on this at all. Doctor, there's a frost mat down there, and also there's an Astri. Two very important objects to take care of. 30 seconds remaining in the round, though. Time certainly not on the side of Hasib Warriors, but they've got the player advantage.
Well, Astri does get isolated, taken down. The rat play does not work. The plant now to be attempted, but Hoven can flank, and he's able. I thought maybe able to get 2, but not to be the case. The Turd Reaps 10 seconds.
Play going down. Melee from Reaps off the initial headshot that he got. Now, suddenly a changing tide maybe in the round, but didn't he? He got off the plant and got the kill. An impact there massively. Turd needs to deny. He cannot. Plant will be successful, and for the 3rd round in a row, Turd finds himself in a chance to maybe salvage the round. Doctor, initial spray. He goes prone. He doesn't need to peek this. Diddy holds close left on that kit. Turd will heal back up. Back to full for him. 30 seconds. Knows where one is. Doesn't know. Maybe close left. He could still be. Doesn't check it. How do you not check that, Turd?
I thought he knew. Did he not know? I mean...
well, clearly he did not know. But he also never made the cross. You know he's made that plant. You've watched it the whole way through and he hasn't crossed.
I think initially he did expect him to be there and perhaps then second-guessed himself. Just the way he positioned himself in the crosshair placement. I thought he was just trying to isolate the first one and then he knew that the second one was up on the boost, but... maybe second guessed and thought it was the doorway then, I guess. I don't really know what happened there. But either way, it's not really a position he should have won anyway, 1v2. Hoven had to win his double here, get that diffuser on that particular position. It could have been a different story. Don't know what was going on there with the Monty. That was a misplay. Reaps knifed that. But this is a scrappy game. This is very weird. This is, yeah, by far and away the most perplexing game we've seen tonight.
But I want to say, this is, Hasib Warriors are playing well. Like, this is not a matter of like, oh, Bleed are making mistakes and Bleed is looking crap, whatever. Like, I genuinely think that what we've seen from Hasib in the way that they've been able to get swift entries, opening kills, playing off of set executions on the operator picks like the Montang, for example. They're getting bomb plans. Like, I mean, like, they are doing everything, guys. Bleed have done nothing in any way, shape, or form in being able to stop this. Outside of maybe some, like, mechanically good shots from Reaps and Asfi, they haven't looked like they've had any control defensively here on border, and that is quite astounding to me. For a team that is of this caliber of experience, this should not be happening. But Hasib Warriors are very much proving that they are a threat in this Asia League early on. A lot still to play out, but so much respect has now been gained already for this roster, and a matter of the remainder of the teams in this league need to take notice.
Well, Bleed take their tactical timeout. They need to formulate a response to the Monty. Now, it's not the only piece of this attacking puzzle that they are failing to counter, but in my eyes, it has played a significant role in disrupting and taking that control, and I think as well just relaying information that the rest of the teams are capitalizing upon. So, Hasib are playing around the one tank well. Bleed need to be a little bit more disciplined, I think, in the way in which they approach this roam. And we'll see how they go about doing that. Doctor on the Bravo this time around, so Clutch drones will be in play, additional info gathering, and the ability to hack Fenrir mines as well. Not exactly the plethora of defensive utility for him to hack, but default cameras are also an option.
Once again, Zaha onto that Montang. Pretty swift entry towards break, if not mine, though, will delay. Moves away from that one, maybe expecting more aggression from Bleed.
Mine
Asfi to
activated.
switch up the F-Nots. Deep in towards security. We actually saw Asfi go for the swing earlier on. Clutch drones getting a shot out. Already 3 drones gone for Hasib Warriors. Bit of information as well. Barbed wire being broken up by Taha on the Monty. Big push coming here from Hasib Warriors. Triple stack so far outside security, including that Montang. This time they may actually look to play off of the Monty. Mentalist wanting to go for a peek, but what can you really do against that shield in the corner? Not much. Third stuff finds an opening kill though onto Hasib once piece. There's that swing from Asfi, even with the Montang in the corner. It's the Lex to go for it. And suddenly, time has been wasted a little bit. Much better from Bleed defensively. They're not overcommitted, not over-peeking. Find a good pick. But also, there's not much Taha can do. He's surrounded on both sides. Stuck in the corner. Really difficult to get out of this position as well safely. 5 versus 4. Better from Bleed here. Z-Dunks, well, he's been a big standout so far and has made entry in towards top waiting.
No, that is the Legion taken down. So Taha now will need to be facilitated. Few mines now at a premium. Only those already deployed will be in play, and a lot of them probably centered around this position over towards Break and CC. Z-Dux to lead the charge in towards a 1v1 against Asfi, who has been drawn out, and Z-Dux almost catches his tail. Asfi, though, able to at least initially escape, but overstays his welcome. 40 seconds, good clear by Hasib, but an equally good trade from Mentalist.
Colvin backs him up as well. Advantage Bleed. They haven't really been in this position so far in this match. You know, 3-on-2, 30 seconds left. Surely they can close this round out and get an opening round win on the board. You lose this, and well, mentally they may be completely shot for the remainder of the night if you were to lose from this position now. Denny with the kit. Doctor very low, in towards Fountain. Spray probably needed to find a kill there. Doctor does. Despite the low health, he gets the headshot onto Hoffen. Now top metal. Oh, it's a freebie! Turt's not even watching! Suddenly, they may very well lose this round after all. The plan has to be stuck. They know where Mentalist is. The cover to come from Doctor! What the hell am I watching? There is no way! I must be sleeping and dreaming!
I think Reap's reaction says it all. they're shell-shocked at the moment. Bleed are just completely asleep at the wheel the way they are playing this at the moment. The initial reaction in the way in which they played the early round in response to the Monty was the best we had seen so far, with the Legion coming across, the really good communication they had with the triangle through CC, and then across into Armor with the Mirror Window and playing Mentalist. Once that started to break down, just the late round there was really poor, and Toad giving away his life for free all but confirmed the round for Hasib, but the retake there was going to be very, very challenging with the cross being held. So phenomenal work from Hasib, not trying to take away from them at the moment, but it has to be said. Bleed, arguably, for many probably being pitched as the best team in the league and the best chance to go to Manchester, they are just not in the server at the moment. It is day one, it is a seeding game, but this is just not acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive result for Hasib Warriors so far. That round 2 on 3, Doctor has virtually no health on one of the primary defensive sites of this map that it has. And arguably Bleed are in great positions to close that round out. They can want all entry points. They've got the numbers advantage. That might be one of the first rounds in which I think Bleed just making critical error after critical error gave such a strong pathway back into that round. Dinny and Doctor, though, they took that and ran. They still had to hit their shots and make their entries, and they did. So far, no one from Hasib Warriors has put a foot wrong. Don't look at that KD of Taha. Yeah, 1 and 4, but playing the Monty role perfectly. Everyone else is basically on fire right now. 2 rounds to go in this half, and for Hasib Warriors, they are more than sensing the reality of the situation, which is a dramatic statement to kickstart the Asia League. What can Bleed Esports do now to get themselves back into this game? It has already been quite embarrassing. You lose this though, and it's horrific.
Deploying Claymore. Setting Selma.
I very much wonder what the message from Julio was during the tactical timeout. Just an opportunity to try and reset the team and refocus them. Unfortunately, though, round 4, it doesn't really pay off. So into the 5th, minute 40 on the clock. Decent start here over towards the top of his position, but this is where we see the Montague come into play. Taha can just take all this free ground. Really good counter to the likes of the Fenrir utility as well, because ultimately Bleed already know he's coming. And we'll see what kind of space he's able to take, and if the likes of Z-Dugs can get in fragging positions. He's already sneaking and probing over towards break. They're just getting really good ground, and Bleed are getting caught off guard.
Oh, that was...
I thought that was almost going to be another freebie, but it wasn't. They were aware.
Still 1 in towards security, but how much have they just kind of backed off a little bit? Reaps gets the kill onto Z-Dugs. Massive. Boy, they needed that. I mean, they did get the opening kill in the last round prior, but it still didn't get them a massive result. Doctor, Hatcher, Hoven, 2 rounds in a row. That's the mirror dealt with. Hasib wants peace, still very low on health. Has the flashes. They have a smoke as well, which has now been expended by Doctor over towards 90. And Taha eventually can now either go in towards Fountain or even through top metal. And suddenly they go for a rotate. 40 seconds left. They've decided to change things up a little bit. Well, that
30
default.
seconds.
Oh,
Taha
this is
now in
scrappy.
engagement over towards that box position. Doctor's been able to sneak forward. So again, Hasib in good key positions, but Turd this time able to find his one. Doctor as well though, so 3v3, 20 seconds.
Yeah, slipped into archives and Reaps had no idea. Lovely shot back from Turdstar. Okay, can't lose this one, especially with a Montang that has quite literally 1 HP. Doctor has done one more great thing in this round. 3 great things in this round. Suddenly Taha on 1 HP. This is the unlosable moment. With 1 second and no kit, there's no way he finds the double kill. He got 1. But Bleed finally get 1. And a pause now has been called as well, with 1 round to go in this half.
Tech issue, unfortunately, for Bleed. Ultimately, still a relatively close round. And to the credit of Hasib Warriors, this... I don't really want to say the word, but... Or the 2 words. Split theory. But they're actually kind of trying to employ
Did you just whisper it so as to not summon fresh?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure it's like, what? Coming to midday in the UK, so... or EU, so fair chance he's awake and he might be watching. So
It's like almost 4 p.m. there apparently. My God.
I don't want to
Oh,
get
it's
I
so
don't want to
late,
get added on Twitter.
Oh no, it's so late here.
Attackers have dropped
Yeah.
the bomb diffuser.
I mean, because they're navigating themselves in these really awkward positions where Bleed don't have the information and they're finding it difficult to then react accordingly. And I think that their slowness and their lack of reactivity is what cost them really early on in the game. That time though, it was a little bit better, and Toad clearly was in a good position to cut the entry over towards that office half the map. So he steps up, does a good job, and then with limited time remaining, the 1v1 never came into fruition. So better from Bleed. Question though, has the damage already been done? 2 rounds defensively will be okay, but it's still not, you know, great in the context of this match especially.
Well, I mean, you're right in that. And the real thing is, even if Bleed were to come back and win from this position, it feels like... Is it fair to say reputation tarnished? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. That the shining on the armor maybe has been scratched. That they are not this kind of immovable object when it comes to Asia League. You know, when we talk about the fact there's one slot and who maybe, quote, owns that slot, it's Bleed. That's been kind of the talk coming into this particular stage. Are they vulnerable? Well, I mean, I think so. And you can hop all the way back 2023 stage 1, undefeated in the group stage, only to then fall short to Fury in the playoffs. Now, they got over that hurdle in Atlanta, and with that, they were able to then go to 6 Invitational. Great on the main stage. They've been great on the main stage. It's getting there that's always kind of been a bit of the issue. I don't think they will be concerned about, even if they lose this, a group stage play day 1 loss. And it doesn't matter who the opponent is. That's not taking anything away from Hasib Warriors. It's just the nature of the beast, in which all you've got to do is make playoffs. From there, a couple of best of 3s, and you can go to the major. And that's where I think they will pride themselves on their experience to be able to get the job done. But it's still not a good look. But it's an amazing look for Hasib Warriors, a team that, you know, not to throw my colleagues under the bus, but I certainly will. They were kind of getting clowned on the desk. There was very little expectation. Even yourself, guys, saying 7-0. Sorry, guys.
Wow. That
It's
clown.
Consider it more of as a reference point, and to what they've now been able to do since then.
So I don't take it personally. It's okay.
I know you don't. It's all about.
I am already red-faced after my round 1 comment that this was going to be a 7-0. So, but I mean,
Well, I mean, to be fair to yourself,
can you really,
though, right?
can you really blame me? As good as
No,
Hasib Warriors
no.
can be locally, we have seen the gap between South Asia and Southeast Asia not even stagnate. I would say it's probably actually grown over time. So this result in a vacuum really is a surprise, irrespective of where it lands from here. If Bleed win the next 6 rounds and win the game, even still, the start and the promise in which Hasib Warriors have shown throughout this match is really good. And probably goes back to my earlier discussion and the point that I made after game number 3 of the evening. Maybe that then throws into disrepute the idea that 7 and 8 in the standings is already locked in for South Asia. Maybe there is potential that a team like Hasib Warriors could contest for a bracket spot, which means who's going to be the team from SEA to miss out?
Well, I mean, that does kind of, at least from a viewership standpoint, make it exciting. It kind of sucks for a region that I think deserves way more than 1 slot. I mean, this region should never be in a situation where there's only 1 slot. Like, I obviously have to be very careful with the words that I say here, but I will just reiterate on that. It shouldn't only have 1 slot. That's all I will say. Whether it's 2, 3, whatever. But it has to be more than 1. Especially with what we've seen from this region, continuing to improve. Now, unfortunately, and I probably can say this, but yeah, issue with Mentalist's PC. He's had to swap out his monitor, so hence the technical pause in question. That was actually called out by Mentalist pretty quickly, and it looks as if we will be ready to go as per Mentalist. So a break in the action. Does that benefit Bleed? Probably not all that much, because they actually won the last round anyway prior to the technical pause. So that little streak of Hasib Warriors had already been broken up ever so slightly. As we go back into the game, fortunately, thank you everyone, of course, for just bearing with us there as we had to wait for Mentalist to swap out his monitor. We are back in. 4-1 lead. Hasib Warriors so far have been great.
Sensor on.
Will they be able to continue that? And then also into the defense. It's a whole different ask. I think Bleed are certainly more than capable in the attack itself, and bringing into question the map, right? It is Border. Like, if there's going to be a map in which it's going to be attacker-sided, Border certainly can facilitate that.
Yeah, totally agree. Again, it's going to depend on what sort of attacking ideas Bleed are going to bring into the server. They themselves could play something crazy like Deimos Double Shield or Deimos Shield.
5 seconds left.
Jackal Shield, and really evolve upon what we've seen from the Hasib. Final round though, focus here for the attacking half of Hasib Warriors. Once again, it's going to be centered around that Monty. Brava also in play. So Hasib haven't really deviated much away from what they've presented so far in the game. Maybe that could be seen as a negative if they go on to lose this next round, because it's a positive if they hold on and their ability to eventually react. But we'll see. A lot of these rounds have been quite volatile. And one of the more exciting parts of said rounds has been this open duel. This time it's Zeducks. Taken very low. That was probably not a favorable fight for him, but he is able to escape, but has the potential to lurk and have impact later on.
We move careful and have not right out. Toxin set.
Yeah, very low health now for Zeducks. Makes life a little bit more difficult. Especially when you want to probably play that entry role, you want to be the Ash, you want to be aggressive, as Taha just gets information of its position inside a fountain. Kind of stuck here a little bit if they've got back up to arrive. Do you mind just slowing things down a little bit though for Hasib Warriors? Taha's also, I think, just copped the knife himself. He has been able to at least kind of brush it off. That from Mentalist, I would imagine. So with the opening kill. Once again, Hasib Warriors are able to find ground close by to sight. Hoven just feels under the pump. He's got a Montang on one side, but then the push on the other. Gets the down onto Hasib once piece. Oh, and then a bit of an issue. Taha steps on the go mine. He just slips over on the floor. Zeducks eventually gets the kill onto Hoven. They will be able to get Hasib once piece back up, but he'll be low. Lovely shot from Reaps from down below. In a 2 versus 2 with 60 seconds remaining, it's another close finish to a round. But hey, if you bleed, there's one player you want up at this point. It's Reaps.
Yeah, Reaps has a lot of clutch potential. Hasib still has gold to keep ammo up above. Meanwhile, Dinny potentially able to navigate into a plant position as well, but he needs to make this cross right here, and it's up to Reaps to deny the cross, and then that plant position near the single wall, which has been breached, open. Hasib have a little bit of time. Reaps to reposition. This is still a very, very close round if Hasib have the right read. But as you can see, double cross, both defenders have a line of sight towards this plant position. So it should be pretty tough, actually.
One shot out. One more available if required. Mentalist does hit the shed shot on to Dinny. And then Reaps had the cross the whole way through. Reprieve momentarily for Bleed. After succumbing the opening 4 rounds to Hasib Warriors, they win the next 2 to close out the half. They get 2 defensive rounds. And for all we know, this could end up being pretty attacker-sided. Bleed are more than capable on the attacker border to bring this game back. Armory and Archives is where Hasib Warriors will go to first. Very curious to see how they're going to play this. Doubling down Fenrir and Malusi on the anti-entry to maybe slow down Bleed as much as possible. We are seeing actually a massive return. Actually, I don't know if massive is the right word. I should use that.
Attackers
We are seeing a return of Malusi. It has started to be picked up once again. Why? Difficult to say. You do have the Fenrir, which acts quite similar. And they have not mine information and the Banshee information. And yeah, this was...
What happened there? Like,
well,
they knew the player was in fountain.
I think he forgot the player was in fountain. I think he just forgot. It happens.
Magnet set! Magnet ready.
Yeah, look, Bleed salvaged the half.
10 seconds to
I don't think we have any reason to go back on our earlier comments though. The start of Bleed was a disappointment. It was not good. I'm sure they'll be the first to admit that they were not playing anywhere near their best to kick things off, and they were bullied out of the server really, and their hand forced to take the early tactical timeout as well. And that's one thing that Hasib Warriors will have in the pocket for later on if they so wish to use it. In terms of this attacking composition though, no Monty, no shield play here from Bleed initially. Hasib's a dedicated flank watch with the Nomad in play, Grim for info gathering. Prophet does persist, but a decent amount of utility that the Pledge drones will be able to hack. And Reaps, well, he gets the opening pick. He's been a standout for Bleed inside of the server. A large reason as to why his team has been able to salvage a couple of these rounds. Big clutch pick through the Burt last round and a couple of key moments earlier on as well. And here to start off the attack is good for that opening kill.
Yeah, and that's what we expect from Bleed. You know, I think coming onto the attack of Border, being able to get themselves swift entry, but also play the exterior balcony positions. Mentalist. He gives up on that rotate. They're making a lot of noise as well, and actually one has pushed him at Zedux. Mentalist got no idea. Yeah, no idea. Had he actually not messed up that rotate initially, he would not have been in that position where he dies to Zedux. It's little things that have just not gone the right way for Bleed tonight. 4-on-4. Top main stairs control as well. You don't have that lurk, but what an angle from Aspie. Doctor able to at least get a trade inside of the server, brings it still to a 3 versus 3 with 90 seconds left, didn't he? Well, feels like under a bit of pressure here and low on health, but still good positions being held for Hasib Warriors.
Let's have a look at the overhead. We can see 2 on site, 1 over towards top east. That is Hasib himself. Nitro ripped, information in the hallway, and it, well, doesn't land. Perhaps shot through the air, I would imagine. Flash should come through, and that's actually a problem for Hasib to push forward. Straight into the air jab, but still survives. So Aspie must have turned around. And the chaos continues here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, as expected. I don't know if the swapping of the sides was going to change all that much, to be honest. In terms of the health advantage, though, favored Bleed, and now also with the numbers. Although, again, short-lived. Nitrosol down below. Doctor, too good. Never mind, top main. 13-4 from Doctor. So influential. Hasib one's piece is still down below, but now by himself and has to make his way up top main. As Doctor lost his life to Reaps, who's starting to activate. And will finish off the round as well, just the way in which he started it. And a bit of excitement starting to come back to Bleed as well. Smiles and a little dance as well from Reaps. And suddenly for Hasib Warriors, it's very much a case of, hey, we started off great, but Bleed are getting themselves back into this game. That scoreline of 4-0 has evaporated to 4-3. We've got our work cut out for us if we're going to want to steal this opening game. They still need 3 more rounds. Bleed, though, are creeping up.
Yeah, I mean, structurally, Bleed are just playing far objectively better, and they look way more comfortable here already in the second half to kick it off.
Attackers need to locate and
Reaps, of course, doing a really, really good job to get that opening pick. That continued there. Pretty important fight to win there. Hovin was very, very low on HP, and in the post plan, Hasib may have had an opportunity to, especially with the shotgun, at range to win that fight. So credit to Reaps. As we saw in the player cam, big contrast in terms of body language. I still remember back to the opening phase of the game where he quite literally had his head in his hands. That time though, a bit of a dance, a bit of a cheer. And it might just be, honestly, one of those games where it comes down to Reaps having a big game and perhaps making up for some of the shortcomings elsewhere in the team. And that's okay here and there. It is, again, only the first day of the league portion, but not ideal for a team that we're pitching to perhaps be the best, but long, long way to go still.
Yeah, but even if you're the best, you can still have a slip up here or there. You look back to Bliss last stage last year, they lost to Carlton's Knights, for example, then still went on to obviously qualify, make the major, then into SI, and how well they performed from there. So you can't be perfect every single night. I do think it's more of a case that Hasib Warriors probably just gave them a bit of a sucker punch to begin this game. Played so well out of the gate. No mistakes, fast and furious in their approach. But this is where Bleed have been able to at least use their experience, get the game back on their terms. You know, it's kind of been a first half you, second half us. You know, you had us in the first half, not gonna lie, kind of moment here, but Bleed have responded. So now it's up to Hasib Warriors. Have they got a second wind in them to be able to kind of go once again and get control of this match? Because it is very much now out of their hands. Bleed are the team that is controlling and dictating the server. That's Mentalist with another little minor error. It's not been his night.
He needs another monitor.
He needs another monitor.
Couldn't see the lineup.
That's good.
Now here is the Clutch drone in play. So the magnet's currently being targeted by Reaps, and that will reduce the catch potential for the defense. So projectiles now become a little bit more consistent, a little bit more powerful for the attack. Mentalist drops off Office and will now go below, perhaps divert a position out. There is presence though inside of Workshop, so we need to be careful. Instead, player now rotating bot metal stairs. They will time one another. It was Doctor. He's now gone back up above. 13 kills for him. So probably best that Mentalist didn't duel him. Now in a position to divert from down below.
60 seconds remaining. Opening kill for Asfi. Good swing as well from Hoven. 90 control good for Bleed. And with that, they got themselves the player advantage quite significantly in the round again. Really starting to get control of this game. Hasib wants peace though with a fire back. And oh, a lovely second shot. What a tap onto Hoven's head. And another one potentially towards Fountain. The re-swing through the doorway, though unsuccessful. Asfi strong. But he was just on a bit of an island. Keeps himself afloat. And with that, Bleed now have the advantage again in the round. 30 seconds. But they've got the player advantage. Doctor still holding strong deep back end of lockers. And Dinny goes for a drop on the rotate. Still has an impact available. But suddenly time has evaporated a little bit. Bleed need to still get that kid down. And Asfi's quite low.
Seconds remaining.
10 seconds then, it'll flash this to come through. Can Asfi stick the plant, or can they deny from down below to Hasib? Fortunately, that denial does not come through. Mentalist to swing, finds the kill, 1v3 post. It'll be a Bleed round. It'll be a 4-4 scoreline. And they have very much flipped the script. Then he looks to make his way up top east, denied. Round 8 goes the way of Bleed.
I wonder if we get a tactical timeout coming shortly from Hasib Warriors, either now or maybe at the conclusion of the next round, depending on how it does play out. It is still only a 4-4 scoreline, but what a response from Bleed. It's very easy to make negative comments about them, the way they started this game, guys, to be shocked. But you've got to also now tip your hat, because mentally, there's some top teams that in that position would just forfeit. Not literally, but mentally. You're down 4-0. The challenger has just outplayed you in every single way, shape, or form. It's also not a match that's do or die. It's very easy to just kind of check out mentally, but they have not. They've dug deep. They've kept themselves in the game. And with that now, I've actually got them back into a position where even though the scoreline says 4-4, they are in control of this match. No ifs, ands, or buts, and a tactical timeout has not been taken by Hasib Warriors. So that momentum has continued to just build and build and build now for Bleed Esports. What can Hasib do defensively to stop this avalanche? Reaps is activated. Asfi's having a great game. Turd and Hoven are getting their kills as well. I mean, it's all starting to click a little bit more now for Bleed.
5 seconds left.
Yeah, I think if I'm Hasib at the moment, I'm just investing all my resources and effort into trying to win the entry duel. What happens from that point onwards, wait and see. But they just haven't really been able to lay that foundation yet, and then being able to play off it effectively, really, in most cases. And a lot of those fights have also just been quite isolated, or favorable. So Hasib can maybe look to tag team around the map and be in more tradable positions at the very least. See what they elect to do. Velk in play, but again being countered nicely here by Bleed. You have the IQ in pocket. Osa as well, so Mentalist now flexing on that. A slightly different piece of utility defense to deal with. Triple Nitro lineup though, so explosives available. Xenox does fall though. And I was just talking about these isolated unfavorable fights, and that's a perfect display of one. Who else but Reaps to win the fight as well? Up to double digits here for Bleed.
Yeah, where's the response now for Hasib Warriors? Under the pump. It's all well and good to have that dream suddenly looking like it's on the edge of reality, but now it's slipping away. That opening start to the stage that just looked oh so amazing is just now looking like it could be out of their grasp. The response from Bleed has been paramount. Turret through Customs, who's got a good sightline in towards site as well. Dinny on the other side though, on towards server side. A similar angle, 90 seconds. Bleed not really making any crucial mistakes either. Mentalist with the miss flash and the miss rotate hole. Those are so incredibly marginal, it's irrelevant. As a core unit, as a core team, they are no longer really making critical errors. They look far more switched on, in sync and synergized. This Reaps is obviously leading from the front in terms of the frag department, but as a team, even here, not rushing. Now they actually look, oh, never mind. Aspie doesn't check the left-hand side.
I could see that coming.
There was a trade, and Top East stays in control for Bleed with that kill from Hoven onto Doctor. Hasib wants P, still watching that window carefully. Reaps on the outside of it. Dinny with a good headshot. Mentalist go over the plant now. Ooh. What a swing! It's like a Ferrari peak from Hasib wants Peace. Shot back from Hoven as well through the soft wall. Oh. And then Dinny with a Nitrocell. Hoven in a 1 versus 2. The peak comes through. You didn't need to make that though. For Hasib wants Peace. And Dinny and Hoven in a 1 versus 1 on the retake. Critical point in this match as well. And Dinny's actually going to go for the push. Top East. Hoven, though, has the talent shield. Dinny, will he even check? What? Oh, no. They're not watching each other. And Hoven makes it back to safety behind the shield. And with that, Dinny knows he probably can't win the round. Needs to get on it and stick it with a long arm of the law. He can't find the angle. Hoven just taps away for a bit of fun. To just say, you're not winning the round.
I mean, there's a lot to unpack in that round. That Osa double shield talent setup there from Bleed is really gnarly because it adds the first layer of Mentalist being able to get the plant down. And even if he gets impacted or nitroed out later on in the post, which we saw, really, really good retake there of the objective itself from Hasib, there's that extra layer up above where with Vert in play, that talent shield up there means that anyone trying to retake up East Stairs is in a lot of trouble. Now, it almost actually fell apart. Hoven vaulting there almost resulted in his death. Like, he almost just straight up threw and died because he didn't just sit behind the shield. But ultimately, it did work out, and that entire little preset play there from Bleed, yeah, that's the moment I'm talking about. He literally almost just completely threw.
I wonder if he heard the sound cue and got confused and thought that he was down and maybe he didn't have an angle. Like the position behind the shield wasn't actually good enough to spot the kit, for example, or to think that, oh, maybe he's found an angle. I've heard something. And then, because you could clearly see, he had no idea that he was actually pushing up top east stairs. And the timing of it was just incredible. The fact, though, that Dinny was not really watching the entry point either is probably what saved Hoven in the end. The tactical timeout has been taken and obviously now has elapsed, and I think really well timed as well for Hasib Warriors. Make an argument they could have taken it at 4-4, but backed themselves in, and I like that. I think this is now a good usage of that timeout. I'm curious to see what they can bring. The one downside, though, so far, guys, is they have not been able to win a defensive round at all. Bleed have now won 3 attacking rounds in a row after having then won 2 prior to that to close out their own defense. So 5 rounds in a row now from Bleed Esports. And you have to give them the credit in terms of this response. Both teams, I think, can take a lot away from this game. If Hasib Warriors do lose this match, they've still gained a monumental amount of respect, I think, moving forward for the remainder of the stage. But there certainly will be concerns regarding allowing kind of Bleed back into this game. But I think that just speaks more towards what Bleed are capable of when they're at their best. When they're not making mistakes and they're playing at their best, they are a very difficult team to beat.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the structure they have here on attack is just really solid and certainly a level above what Hasib would be playing against domestically in South Asia. So it's pretty difficult to fault them here in the second half. I think they've already rocked the bed enough with the first 4 rounds. That was a valiant effort. And they've now just been outmatched by a team that has arrived in the server officially. Either way, round 10. Reaps on a heater. Double digits, as mentioned previously, has been a key part of the entry for Bleed. As the attack will gain a little bit of ground top east. And with the Nomad in play, it will make the ability for said defense to retake a little bit more challenging. No one really contesting through the CCTV portion of the map either, so Bleed will get a read on that pretty quickly and take that control, cut off main stairs, and then look to start pinching in positions like office, where red ping information is available. Drop those to come through, and ask for you to take ground through waiting.
A bit of a slow burner this round. We haven't really seen too many of it. It's Border, for example, and two teams that are happy to play aggressive. They've been pretty fast in their approach, but 90 seconds left, still a 5 versus 5. I'd say that's a good thing, probably for Hasib Warriors. Going through the hatch in towards bathroom, the spot 1. Apparently it survived as well. Zedux, big chunk of damage onto him. Frag thrown from Mentalist, wants to take the battle. And in the end, Zedux just probably felt like he couldn't really move, stuck on an island. The frag will be his demise. Hasib wants peace. Reloading. With a critical kill there onto Reaps. Shuts down the main fragger of Bleed. Especially when there was a 3 versus 5 momentarily, now 4. With a minute remaining. Doctor in customs with a bit of yellow ping information, but honestly, he's kind of wandering around aimlessly. Not really close to any of the Bleed attackers.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
I mean, this match is really displayed when the key players have, when they diverge a little bit, right? Zedux started off so well. It was an incredibly important part of Hasib's success early on, but then Reap's able to step up, and despite now being in the grave, he still had an impact in this round. So just showing that those star players can have a difference, for better or for worse. Turd, though, to compound 20 seconds 4v2.
Doctor caught out. Oh, whoo, okay, Turd. Activated late into the night.
15 seconds left.
Mentalist got off the plant there momentarily. Sib wants peace, maybe just causing the ruckus up above. But, has obviously gotten him off it. Doesn't really matter. They obviously are able to close him down. And with that, I think Bleed are pretty close to being able to close this game out. It was a massive scare to begin this match. 4-0 to Hasib Warriors. For those that are maybe only just tuning in, 6 rounds in a row, though, from Bleed. The response has been nothing short of perfect, Gus. They haven't made really any mistakes. A lot of the rounds have been in control. They've been the team that's typically been winning the rounds. Even if there's been a moment here or there where it's a 2v2 or a 1v1, Bleed have always been the team in the better position.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Match point 6-4, and the Amari comes into play potentially here for Bleed in the upcoming round. So indicative that they may look to shift up the pace and be a little bit more direct in towards site, most likely. Archive Sense also in play. So I mean, all the hallmarks of an Archive stack here from Bleed, looking to just get this one across the line in a clean fashion. The defense though does have Solace in play, so there is vertical denial potential. Likely means that Bleed will need to try and navigate into position on that bricks portion of the objective so they can get the plant down safely. That does open up weaknesses elsewhere, especially through the likes of Fountain, so let's see how Bleed deal with it. And if they're even going to go for that particular push, also an option to maybe go over towards Armory side as well. So options are plenty here for the attack.
It's really difficult now to kind of dissect this match for Hasib Warriors, where it's so easy to praise them in that first half and the way in which they started. It was great. They were playing amazing. And as strange as it is, it's not as if they've stopped playing amazing or they've started playing bad. It's just Bleed have really gone to another level. Now, Svi. Very much setting up for the fast hit here. That could actually spell the end of Hasib Warriors for the night if this is successful from Bleed.
Yep, everyone just getting in position. The U2 will be layered accordingly. Ashby is the one with the diffuser in hand, so probably a sandwich plan.
And straight in, wins that battle against it. He does get taken down. ROU has been thrown out as well successfully by Mentalist. Now looking to open up some sight lines. Kit down on the floor, but 2 players on the floor for Hasib Warriors. So far a win at the moment for Bleed is the hive launcher being utilized by Hover. No more canisters available, so no more Bs after this. It is very much a do or die kind of moment. Zedux caught wandering. Turd was watching. Bot West main. There's another player in there as well, and Doctor is that other player. And unfortunately for Hasib Warriors, they're all just stuck on the floor. Taha, Hasib wants peace. Dinny At least one revive to come through from Doctor. And even though it says it's a 4 versus 4, it is not. This should be all she wrote.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
7 rounds in a row from Bleed, and won't be checking that left side. Headshot from Turdstar. A double to finish it off from Bleed Esports. You thought you had us. It was never that close, says Bleed Esports. GG's in chat. Respect earned from Hasib Warriors, but no win, no points. For Bleed Esports, they are able to escape the night.